All right, welcome back to Little Wine Talks. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. My name's Chazz. I'm here with my father, Steve.
Hey, Chazz, how we doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
Today we're talking Merlot.
We are talking Merlot.
Yeah, so Merlot, it's probably one of the wines I see the most, but I probably know the least about.
So I can tell you a story about this grape. So Merlot was born to orphan parents, meaning that it has a dad and a mom, like Cabernet Franc, which we discussed in the past, that has no parents. And this other grape called Madeleine Dior, another field grape.
Yeah.
So Cabernet Franc, like we learned last week, it's in the Basque region. It starts making its way to the Loire Valley, and then it's traveling, I say, north to this nothing region and to the area where they're just making field grapes. So meaning they're just making field. They're just planting grapes. They don't care. There's no rows of Cabernet. There's no rows of Cabernet Franc. There's just grapes everywhere. So by chance, this Cabernet Franc's being grown, and then Madeleine being grown, cross-pollinate, we got Merlot.
Interesting.
We don't have Merlot yet, in a sense.
All right.
So now we have a grape that probably looks a lot like Cabernet because would be its brother, because Cabernet and Sauvignon Blanc became Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon. So they're loving it. Makes its way down to Bordeaux. They're thinking they got like grape these Cabernet vines, and it turns out it's a whole different grape.
Interesting.
And all of a sudden, this like blackbird, it starts like feasting on these grapes. And maybe it wasn't necessarily feasting on it, but it was the same color. And I said, it's a different grape. And then all of a sudden they realized they got a whole new grape. They said, screw it. We got the bird Merle, which is the French word for blackbird. They said, let's call the grape Merlot.
Oh, so the birds were specifically eating on the Merlot grapes.
Yeah, so maybe they were plump, and I don't know. Maybe they thought they were eating. Maybe I don't know if birds eat grapes.
Yeah.
But at least it was hanging out by it. It looked just like it, same color. But it's another dark-hued grape. So all of a sudden, they love it. And the Bordeaux guys, monks, are taking their notes again. Monks must have been everywhere back then.
Yeah.
So they're growing wine, and it's crushing. It's softening Cabernet. So Merlot's not more about taste as it is about texture. So it's taking these really austere grapes and soften them up. It's got this smooth sexiness to it, silky tannins, and this lush same grape profile. So it becomes this awesome blending grape in Bordeaux. And it becomes one of the major grapes in Bordeaux next to Cabernet. And Cabernet Franc as this Bordeaux blend. And so Bordeaux's are crushing. Everybody's loving it. And even some areas on the right bank. So Bordeaux's got a river that runs down, down the middle.
The right bank and left bank.
So on the right bank, the climate's right, the soil's right, and especially towards the north of the right bank, Merlot's crushing. So you'll see the Bordeaux blends on the right bank are more Merlot than Cabernet. But they still got them both, and then Cabernet Franc. So the grapes growing well, starts doing a world tour.
Interesting.
Yeah. Italians are loving it, starts finding a region there, and they're blending it. They're calling it something else, goes down to Tuscany, and for a while, it wasn't even allowed in the Chianti blend, but since like 1970, they allowed it in the Chianti blend. Starts popping in that blend. It goes down to Australia, mostly in blend, so it's just crushing it. You name a region, they're growing Merlot, and it is a rock star.
You think that it's big on the blends because it was so focused on texture? It was like a way for the growers to like add that to their blend?
Exactly.
Interesting.
I know you've been drinking wine for like a short amount of time. Sometimes like a Cabernet, there's just too much like tannins, and it becomes this, I don't know, I guess a simple way, but like bitter. And then Merlot comes in, it's like, let me just smooth this out. And I just say like 25%, maybe 50, doesn't matter. It all, it's a hedge. It all depends on the vintage. So the winemaker loves it because it makes him look like a rock star.
Yeah.
So it's going into regions that it never was ever in. And now it's all over the world. Now it's in Croatia, it's in Australia, it made its way to the United States.
There we go.
So now here we are. So at a time, I'm going to just throw dates out there. We're not really growing it by himself. It's still a blending grape. Starts gaining some popularity, and the California wine guy says, you know what, screw it. We're going to make some 100% Merlots. And people are loving it. It's like softer, sexy. It's not as serious. Like some winemakers are taking a more serious approach. And so I'd say in 1980, there was 5,000 acres of Merlot planted. It's not much.
Okay.
All of a sudden, that's all people talk about. You're going into anywhere. Like, so Merlot's like the rock stars walking into the clubs. It's like, Merlot this. We had Jake's back then. 1990, we opened. People walk in, I'll have a Merlot. Merlot. Number one called. Number one everything.
Interesting.
Little things happen, though, when you become number one. People need to, like, make a buck. They're starting to pull other vines and start to plant Merlot. Even though it grows everywhere, they're sort of like, what do you call that? They're rushing it.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to catch up, and it's not working.
Trying too hard.
So Chile's growing it, and now all of a sudden there's a lot of crappy Merlot on the market. But there's still a lot of people buying it. So now it's up to 55,000 acres. Now picture you had a stock that's at $5, and now it's at $55,000.
Yeah, it's global.
It is crushing. And it didn't seem to be ending because it's still being made. It still has a good reputation. It's still, being used in some of the finest wines in the world. Everybody's loving the blending. And then this now like the sideways effect. This movie comes about as these two degenerate, like middle-aged guys in Santa Barbara just cruising around, and the famous scene comes up. Do you have it on the clip?
Of Sideways?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Well, you got to pull this thing up. So everything's going great. The movie's getting a little acclaim, but then
I got it.
you got to play this. This is great.
Do not sabotage me. If you want to be a fucking lightweight, then that's your call, but do not sabotage me.
Oh, aye, Captain, you got it.
And if they want to drink Merlot, we're drinking Merlot.
No, if anybody orders Merlot, I'm leaving. I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
Okay, relax, Miles. Jesus, no Merlot. Did you bring your Xanax?
It's a great scene.
Paul Giamatti's a beast.
Yeah, and so it was just, but overnight.
No Merlot?
I am telling you, it took maybe a month. But then he waxes poetic about Pinot Noir in the movie, as the movie goes on. You got to check. He just talks about how it's hard to grow and, just this beautiful, the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So everybody starts planting Pinot Noir. But the problem with Pinot Noir is it's hard to grow.
Yeah.
But the kick in the shorts is, in California, as long as you grow 75%, if the long as in the varietal, it's 75%, you can call it on the label Pinot Noir. What a lot of guys were doing was blending Merlot in. So there was still
drinking Merlot just because Paul Giamatti said so. They were still drinking it. They had no idea.
So one of the funniest things at the end of the movie, he's actually drinking this like $2,000 bottle of wine, like all depressed in some coffee shop in a paper cup. And it's Cheval Blanc from Bordeaux, and it's mostly Merlot.
Really?
So I don't know if they just got lucky and that happened, or is this movie that well thought out? But it's a cool thing to say, like how you could just be in greatness and just get shot down
from a freaking movie.
A movie like that. I mean, a decent movie, but not like anything.
That's crazy.
But
that seems like things you see happen now, just like how quickly things can go viral and just like completely shut down a person or a product or something like that.
It was basically like the cancel culture of wine.
It was just Paul Giamatti next to a restaurant.
Well, you know what's going on is, like anything, like people don't know anything. People don't know what good wine is, bad wine. And they enjoy the glass in front of them. I'm sure it's made well, and so they order Merlot because they're going to get a decent glass. And then a movie comes out and says, no, it sucks.
If they're drinking Merlot, you're drinking it. I'm not drinking no fucking Merlot.
Well, we're drinking fucking Merlot today.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about Merlot is, what I decided to bring in was a one from Washington State, Chateau Saint Michel, which is, at least 75%. And then we're going to bring a Bordeaux blend in. Again, go in our theme. We'll bring it old world and new world. Or
Sweet.
Even though I think Chateau Ste. Michelle is a little cooler climate. So these are definitely new and old ones. And so with Merlot is you're looking for not as much taste as like smooth, sexy, silky, velvety. You know, I like to roll those S's around there.
Yeah.
So it's just like this cool wine to have because it's just this mouthfeel that, damn. But even now, like when I went to the store to pick out a Merlot, I'm like, holy crap. We only had like 5. I probably,
Really?
yeah, it's nuts. It's still
The Giamatti effect.
it's still there. I know a lot of people try. You know, it's still the number 2 grown grape in the world, but it's not standing on its own. It has to be
Interesting.
this like player in the background. And I'm telling people, I still have it. You know, I look at it as like I'm not drinking Merlot. I still have the like.
It's so catchy.
I know, and I'm thinking, no, I'll drink a cab because that's supposed to be better. Or and I'm thinking, what the hell? I got to start drinking them. So, and again, when you drink a lot of wines, you don't know you're drinking Merlot, so you forget how much Merlot you're drinking
In each blend.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to, you know, go dig a little bit deeper, and I'm finding out that damn, it's a cool grape. I should tell people about it more. Have confidence because the movie came out in 1990. I mean,
People are over it by now.
well, at least I am. I mean, you weren't even born.
No, I'm just hearing about it.
Yeah, it's a funny scene though. That's what I love about YouTube. You can just bring that up.
Oh yeah.
So what we're gonna see here. So that's what I'm saying. It may be in cooler climates. You're gonna maybe get those green notes in it, but really black cherry, possibly blueberry with those silky tannins. So I say we'll try one that's 100% from Chateau Ste. Michelle, about $18.99, and then we're gonna do one from Pomerol, which is does awesome job on Merlot. And this one is, I think I tried to find one that was more Merlot heavy, and if I'm correct, is about 75% Merlot and 25% Cabernet Franc. No Cabernet Sauvignon, and I don't want to. It's not fair.
Yeah.
They're like siblings, and
Yeah.
the big brother. Like if the Cabernet Sauvignon is the king, Merlot is the queen, and the queen hasn't been doing well lately.
No.
But I say let's tell people go out and let's try it. So let's give it a whirl. You want to try the?
Saint Michelle?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's on my right.
It's on your right. Yeah, I would imagine. See, I don't know how well I would do in a blind tasting because, I've had, Cabernets that have these soft tannins also. But I think that's a good indication what the wine's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, this is a good wine.
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, it's like, again, I think it's definitely smooth. It's big. I mean, look at the color.
Yeah, those words you were hitting with are definitely all on the texture. It's real nice coming over the tongue.
And so you don't really care. Like I'm saying, the fruit or the taste is in what I'm thinking about. Like I'm not thinking, oh, there's a blueberry, there's this. I'm thinking, whoa, that's just like.
Yeah, and I can see that this could be fun to drink too.
And that's why it was crushing.
Yeah,
that's why I was doing so well.
Oh yeah, I kick my feet up, maybe even act a little proper.
Yeah,
get a suit on.
And you're not going wrong. And still, a lot of wine experts will still Petrus is the most expensive, one of the most expensive wines, probably number 5 in the world, 100% Merlot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what's that? $5,000?
$5,000 a bottle, depending on the vintage. Like a recent vintage, I think we tried to get to 2018, and it looked like it was going to be about $7,500 on the shelf.
Damn.
Yeah, and people want it. I can't get it. If I get it, I'll sell it.
That's crazy.
I know, and it's still they don't care. Like Chateau Petrus, hey, make all your stupid movies all you want. We're just printing money over here.
That wine has got to be smooth.
It better be, right?
I feel like that's when you're dropping $7,000 on a bottle of Merlot, you got to be drinking like the nectar of the gods.
Yeah, that is
like Achilles crushed it with his own feet.
What more do you get? It's got to be almost like a sensation you haven't felt yet.
Yeah, you got to be chasing something. But I guess if you got $7,000 to blow on wine, you're trying to get the most out of everything you do.
Yeah. I guess to a point when if you have that much money, that's what you spend it on.
Yeah, we got to start getting some sponsors.
Yeah, right. Maybe Petrus could sponsor us so we can compare it against New World. So we don't have Petrus, but we do have a wine from Pomerol. It's his Chateau Le Croix de Cassé. So on the left.
Should get some sorbet or something that we can cleanse our
palate in between. Bread's the best.
Bread, all right.
So bread sort of clears everything out.
Absorbs probably. All right, let me do the 5. All right, nothing really off the nose.
Yeah, right? That's just it. I mean,
interesting. A little heavier on the tannins.
Yeah, it's definitely right. So now we got a cooler climate. So it's going to develop a little bit of the tannins. It also has Cabernet Franc in it. So that undertone of some herbaceousness.
Yeah, some of this stuff I could taste a little bit of what we had last week, and then I could feel this, if that makes sense.
Yes, and then all of a sudden I could see why, you got that nice, smooth, lovely wine to it.
Yeah, how much was that bottle?
A little bit more. I'm thinking this one. I try to keep them close together, but with the tariffs and everything else, I believe this one's pushing closer to $40. I think 35 or between 35 and 40.
I'd still, if I had the choice, I'd pull the Saint Michel off the shelf.
Well, this is why I'm telling you. And if you got young wine drinkers, a good California or Washington State Merlot is an awesome entry into wine drinking.
Yeah.
It's not going to freak you out. It's not going to have am I supposed to like tannins? What's this dryness on the side of my mouth? What's this acidity? That's good, right? But I don't really like it, So if you can, it's a great jump off wine. And you could get plenty of them. Since all the bad ones were weeded out, there's plenty of them at 10 to
Paul Giamatti took them out of pulled those roots himself.
Guys pulling roots.
Fucking Paul Giamatti, I just planted these.
Effort. What the hell? What's this stupid movie, Sideways? I can't even think of anything off the top of my head. Besides now with Twitter or the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the guy from you were telling me about the guy, the stock guy from Robinhood. These guys seem to have 100% effect more on the positive end.
Yeah.
You can move a price. I mean, same idea.
Yeah.
You can just ruin people just by just keep going. So he goes out. What does he do? Just say buy this stock.
Well, the CEO?
Yeah.
Well, he just created a platform where he collects no money. And so it's just free range on anything you do, which has messed up the whole banking system. Because Charles Schwab used to charge 5% or E-Trade 5%.
Yeah.
Robinhood's no, you guys are good. You just go no fees, no nothing. Go for it. And it has just created this community of just animals.
Do they talk amongst themselves?
The Reddit guys.
Is that
they have a page with Wall Street Bets, it's called, and they have 500,000 active users.
Wait.
People.
What's it called?
Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, it's just
an app.
No, it's a Reddit page. Okay. So you know how they have they'll have a Marvel one and
like wine tasting.
Yeah, there's probably a wine one we should check out. A lot of YouTubers will go through their niche.
All right,
on Reddit.
so keep going.
And so these guys, they realized that together as a group, I guess you can't, the way pumping and dumping, if you do it by yourself, it's illegal. But as a community, there's no legal collusion that has any problems. So they saw that these hedge funds were shorting stocks like GameStop. And so they just said, let's get together and ruin them. And so together, they've just been pumping up the stock. And they have their whole thing is they call themselves autists, and
so let me get this. So people were saying Pinot Noir is going to fail. Mm-hmm. It's dying. Nobody could grow this stupid grape. They came up with a different idea. Let's just crush Merlot. Yeah. Just everybody's high on Merlot. Mm-hmm. They were shorting Pinot Noir, and then everybody's drinking it.
Yeah, fascinating.
Does stocks have any value? Does it?
No, GameStop is a dying company. No one shops in stores.
Yeah.
And so that's what the hedge funds were making an educated decision on.
I find a path to our Petrus.
Yeah. We got to go in from the inside.
Oh, that's so great. I'm enjoying these wines.
Yeah, I got to start. After I enjoyed the Saint Michel so much, I want to start. I guess I got to start putting a list together because now I've probably tried like over the last 6 months at least 50 wines.
Yeah, I know. That's just it. You got to write it down, and then when you go to a wine shop or you start, it's the jump off point. So you'll like Merlot. So what's similar to Merlot? What's in a let me try a blend. So let me try a Tuscan blend that has Merlot in it. So now you're introducing yourself to Sangiovese and Merlot.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to grow, and it's like, oh, I don't like that because it has this in it. So you could just keep like moving yourself around. And remember this: it's snowing. Well, it's not even snowing here in New Jersey. It's 32 degrees, raining. We got stew on the oven for tonight. This wine's great.
Yeah.
We're drinking this in the middle of the summer at the beach. Probably not doing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't like what the Franc did to this one.
Yeah.
It just made this one like less cool.
Well, that was going back to my theory that I really don't like Cabernet Franc.
Maybe, that we were just having some good ones last week. It does.
Yeah, or I'm sort of like focusing into it. And I was looking for the herbaceous nature of the grape.
Yeah.
And now I see it, I guess, sense in the wild. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've explored another cool grape, and I think we're hitting some of the, really getting a good foundation of understanding of the some red grapes.
Yeah.
It's cool. We did like the father and their two kids.
Yeah, we'll start. We spread and
I still want to get out to. We got Super Bowl next week, and we might have to do a little food pairing with what goes good. Like we got chicken wings out there, chili. Maybe do some a little food pairing episode. Give a we got enough knowledge. What are we going to be drinking during the game?
What pairs best with the Kansas Chiefs spread?
Well,
Maybe a nice Cabernet or
what would it be? I think you got to go with a blend. I think you're going like
do they have?
It's got to be a crazy blend.
If
you want to compare wine to that offense I saw,
there you go.
It's not. There's nothing straightforward about it.
No,
that's something crazy. That's like a Chateauneuf de Pop that has like 13 different grapes in it, just throwing stuff everywhere. Maybe doing it in steel barrels, then moving it over to oak barrels, then moving it over to cement. Aging it too long, too young, too old. Like if you're talking Tampa Bay, that's Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yes,
that is just straight classic. Tom Brady, just down the middle of the road, no wavering. So I think you got we'll come up with two different wines and hopefully they pair with like chicken wings or whatever. Like come up with some type of food pairing. Awesome. Plus it's got to go the whole game.
Yeah, for real, definitely.
All right. Well, looking forward to Super Bowl. Are we allowed to even say that? I guess
the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's coming up.
All right. So next week.
Yeah,
we'll do a little Super Bowl special
preview. Yeah.
All right.
Do you think? Wait, do you think they have wines in Missouri? No, wait. Yeah, Kansas City's in Missouri.
That's always the thing, right? It's on the border, but it's actually in Missouri. I'm gonna say we're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yeah, we should try to find one.
All right.
Because there's no way there's. Is there wines in Tampa?
There's beer in Tampa. They got that cigar. Highlight IPA.
I've seen that.
Yeah, Cigar City.
Yeah, we could do like an orange wine too. I bet they got some of those coming out of Florida.
It's playing in Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, it's home game.
That's crazy.
No team has ever won.
No team has ever been a home team at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, what is this year? 50?
Didn't Kurt Warner play at home for the Cardinals?
I don't know.
Against the Cardinals Steelers in 2010?
Fact check.
Yep.
You need your Richie Bosco here.
All right. Yeah, no. We'll just end it there. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. If you got any suggestions?
Exciting. I feel like I've learned, too. I'm like feeling like Merlot's cool again.
Yeah. And Chateau Saint Michel Merlot, $18. I think well worth the price.
Yes.
If next time you're in the store.
Thanks, Chazz.
See ya.